U.S. President Donald Trump has sent a letter to Israel's President Isaac Herzog asking him to pardon Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is on trial for corruption relating to allegations of bribery, fraud, and breach of trust. In the letter, Trump writes, "I believe that this quote-unquote case against Bibi, who has fought alongside me for a long time, including against the very tough adversary of Israel, Iran, is a political, unjustified prosecution." He goes on to say, "Now that we've achieved these unprecedented successes and are keeping Hamas in check, it is time to let Bibi unite Israel by pardoning him and ending that lawfare once and for all." Well, we're joined by Yossi Beilin, former Minister of Justice in Israel. Yossi, you're joining us from Tel Aviv today. What was your first thought when you heard about this?
Well, my first thought when President Trump visited the region a few weeks ago, and at the end of his speech in the Knesset, he said to our president, hey, maybe you will pardon the prime minister. After all, you are speaking about some champagne or whatever. This doesn't justify the decision to indict him. So I laughed. Now it is an official letter of the American president, the leader of the free world, to another democracy, Israel, asking again the president of Israel to pardon Netanyahu, as if, it is just like that. You get up in the morning, if you are the minister, and pardon whoever you want. It is easier in the United States. I can tell you I am responsible for many pardons in Israel as a Minister of Justice in the past, and it is a very complicated and rightly so process. So you have to get the advice of the prison about for example, about the behavior of the person. Then you have to get other recommendations, and only at the end of the road, the Minister of Justice is recommending the president whether or not to pardon the person, and then the president has the last say. But it is not simple. It is not. And again, there is something else in this letter. He is actually blaming the Israeli legal system for blaming the prime minister for nothing.
Yossi, if you were Justice Minister right now, since you mentioned this, if you were tasked with overseeing the country's judiciary right now, what would you do?
Well, I would say, I think, as President Herzog said, I appreciate very much your letter. We never do that in such a way that foreign leaders are telling us what to do, and I will have to take my decisions. It is not very simple. It was almost never done in Israel that in the midst of a legal process of a trial, the president got a recommendation of the Minister of Justice to end it all, to stop it, and to pardon the person in court. So to do that, it will take a lot of debates, internal debates. I think that many people in Israel will not like to see something like that. And after years of a legal process, long overdue, by the way, but years of legal process, it is not like that you end a court if you wish so.
In his letter, Donald Trump also writes that, in his view, the case, he writes it in inverted commas, the case against Netanyahu, corruption case, is political and that it's unjustified. Do you have any reason to believe that this case is political?
It's nonsense. Really, it is nonsense, and he is very rude saying something like that and then asking the head of the system to pardon him. I mean, how does he know that the accusations against our prime minister are not justified? Why does he believe that it is artificially done in order, because of political reasons or or whatever. I have all the reasons in the world to believe that it is very innocent, and that had there been no serious charges against Netanyahu, I don't think that anybody would put him in trial. This is the truth. I mean, there were many witnesses and testimonials before the decision to indict him was taken. And, the people who were in charge of or responsible for indicting him were people that he himself nominated.
Trump
So
also writes.
to say
Sorry,
that
go
it
ahead.
is artificial, it's really unfair and really not serious. And I'm surprised that Trump did something like this. But being surprised of Trump is a little bit difficult.
Well, given that this demand is coming from Israel's most important ally, right, from the United States president, do you think the Israeli president might be considering it?
He should consider such a letter from the President of the United States. But if you ask me whether he is going tomorrow to release Netanyahu, the answer is no.
All right. Yossi Beilin, former Israeli Justice Minister, thank you so much for joining us on Al Jazeera.
Thank you.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.